Welcome back. Chucky's coming to you live on 106.7 The Fan and the Team 980 in D.C. You can listen to us on 910 The Fan in Richmond. We're streaming live on the Odyssey app, and you can watch us on the Monumental Sports Network. We're brought to you by Crop Metcalf, the official heating and cooling company of the Junkies. Looking to be their next 5-star HVAC technician or plumber, just visit cropmetcalf.com to join their team. We got Ben Valin joining us at 8:20. We'll talk about the Patriots' woes and go around the NFL with him. Jonathan Allen, Pro Bowl defensive tackle for your Commanders, will join us to talk about what's gone wrong with the defense. But one thing that's gone right is Chase Young. EB brought this up as we hit the skins at 7 o'clock. Statistically, Chase Young had 11 quarterback pressures on Thursday Night Football, despite the fact that the Bears scored 40 points. On the year, he's got 3 sacks.
Mm-hmm.
He's surprised some people. He's putting together, and he hasn't played in every game. He's putting together a nice little season. We'll see how it ends up. A lot of season left.
If these pressures keep up, like I like sacks first and foremost, but I guess your next best thing is pressures.
Sure.
You know,
Impact plays, rushing the quarterback.
He's going to get paid. He's going to get paid. If he keeps up at this pace, he's going to get paid.
And the question is, should the Commanders try and sign Chase Young in the offseason? Should they try to bring him back? You can chime in at 800-636-1067. We put it up as the Junkies poll of the day. I haven't checked the results yet. He's a very polarizing guy. What is your guess? I'm going to say, I haven't looked. I'm going to say 75% say yes, right?
Maybe 65.
Wow.
What is it?
69% no right now.
They want to move on. How about this? How about
there's some people say, well, the defense isn't better with Chase Young. In my opinion, it would be worse if Chase Young's not out there. He's actually pressuring the quarterback. That's not the problem. It's not Chase Young, and I understand at times he might take some plays off. I know a lot of people like to focus on some of the times when he takes a play off. In fact, there was a fumble a couple games ago where he didn't completely come back. Like he'd kind of given up on the play, and it was a fumble. And maybe if he was running full speed, he recovers the fumble.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jason it was in the Eagles game.
The biggest problem,
but he's actually pressuring the quarterback. And to me, look, what's arguably the biggest play of the season in terms of a win is the Jamin Davis fumble, which was forced by a Chase Young pressure.
I think the biggest problem with the defense, I know people are attacking Cody Barton. I think it's just the secondary, the corners specifically. And I know that Kendall Fuller got praised for his play in the first, I think, 3 or 4 games by PFF. But whatever he had done right in those first 4 games,
erased.
He did wrong in the game against the Bears. Forbes is struggling big time as a rookie. You have to hope he turns that around, that he gains some confidence.
But what do you do, Cakes GM, with Chase Young? I know you're generally not a guy who wants to invest a ton of money just on defense. So they've paid Jonathan Allen. They've paid Deron Payne. They're going to have Montez Sweat and Chase Young both wanting new contracts.
I'm going to think long and hard about signing him because if Sam Howell is your guy, you've got a guy playing on a poverty salary at quarterback, which is every team's dream. Like you have a guy on a rookie salary playing, and then you fill in the other parts of your team. That's what Ron was talking about with his goofy roster building quote a few months ago. So, I mean, if Chase Young comes out and gives you a dozen sacks, you have to think about re-signing him. It has to be on the table.
Okay, can you answer the question? You have to think about it. You're the GM.
Yeah.
Did you re-sign Chase Young from what you've seen so far?
Yes. I signed into a long-term deal.
Here's what I'd like to do.
I roll the dice.
I might bring him back. But
you got a young pass rusher that hopefully hasn't even really hit his prime yet.
Yeah,
that's the way you look at it.
He hasn't anywhere near reached his potential yet at this level. But he is showing flashes. He's showing the old quickness and everything. I would try to bring him and Sweat back and get rid of Jack. I need a new D coordinator.
Right. You need to utilize the chess pieces better.
Yeah. I want to move him around. I just want a different, more attacking defense.
Well, if this defense keeps hemorrhaging, you're not going to see Jack Del Rio here in 2024.
Right.
They better have a market turnaround and soon, or else Jack's going to be going bye-bye along with Ron.
All right, let's go to Mike in Ashburn. Mike, what would you do with Chase? He's having a bit of a resurgence.
I would let him go. We have to think about why he's having such a resurgence. Number one, because they're paying more attention to Payne and Sweat and Allen than they are him. He's an afterthought because not like
That's
his was
fine.
his second year.
That's
like
fine.
his second year. So I don't think he's worth the money, and you can't have all of that money on the defensive line, especially with the results we're getting. I would take that money and, of course, build the offensive line, which we've all said 1,000 times. And also he's injury prone, and I just don't think he's that guy to invest that money in.
All right.
Okay. He's clearly on the other side of it.
Let's go to Michael in Eldersburg. Michael, what's up, buddy? You on with the Junks?
Yeah, I dumped this guy at the trade deadline. I mean, I'm sorry, you got to get something. Teams are doing that now. You've seen them cut quarterbacks loose for, fifth-round picks. We got to get some offensive line help. This team plays worse when he's active. If I'm not mistaken, he was off week 1 and he played weeks 2 through 5.
Mm-hmm.
And they've given up 37 points a game or whatever. He comes in and disrupts the team defensive cohesion. No, sorry. It's locker room stuff. It's not even what he does on the field. It's not about the actual play as much as it is something about him makes the defense worse. Let him go be in some other system. Dump him at the trade line. Use that money for O-line.
Man, I'm surprised at the animosity towards Chase Young. He's probably your most impactful defensive player at this point.
I'm not surprised because I've seen it online, and we're seeing the voting.
Yeah.
Our Junkies poll today brought to you by Van Meter Homes, where 69% say they wouldn't bring him back. Statistically, so far, 4 games, he's got 11 tackles, 3 sacks. He's got 1 tackle for loss here, according to ESPN, and 1 pass deflection.
By the way, my Chase Young bets are so live right now. I have him with double-digit sacks in 2023, and I weaseled in a 15-game caveat. So he's well on his way, knock on wood, if he doesn't get injured. And 28 games between Chase and Montez. I need 25 sacks.
Montez
is
Sweat,
within reach, too.
He's got 4.5 sacks to start the season. Of course, he's played in all of the games. He also has 2 forced fumbles. So statistically having a better year than Chase Young. But it's close.
Over 900 yards, needs some help. I need more 60-yard receiving outings from him.
If you had to pick one, though, Montez Sweat, Chase Young. Ooh. You can't sign both. You can only sign one.
If I had to sign one, I can't believe I'm saying this. I would sign Chase Young.
Why?
I just think he's just a bigger weapon than Sweat is.
Sweat, again, statistically having a better year. He's had 4.5 sacks, 4.5 tackles for loss, 2 pass deflections.
I think I would take.
And 2 forced fumbles.
Sweat's been more consistent. He's more reliable.
I know. Trust me. I know there's
more
a lot
reliable.
of baggage with Chase Young, and that there has been. But you know what I am? Prisoner of the moment. I'm getting caught up in the
right.
but Chase. I'm getting swept up in it.
Chase just played well the other week.
Right.
He's so much better than Chase Young.
Hold on. Sweat is better than Chase Young?
Yes. By far.
Okay,
he's consistent. He doesn't get injured. He comes to play, gives it all every single week. He's a major impact player, and he's probably getting double-teamed all the time out there.
Look, and you could be right. Maybe the team sides with you in the offseason and decides to sign Montez to a lucrative extension, and Chase just goes and signs with another team during the offseason.
If he keeps up anything near this rate, like 10, 11 pressures per game, you got to keep him.
Well, he's not going to do that.
What if he goes out and terrorizes Desmond Ridder this weekend? Has 2 sacks, 10 pressures, and
right, Sweat could do the same thing. Didn't Sweat just have 2 sacks recently? He stumbles his way into half a sack, and everyone's ready to give him a top tier deal.
No. PJ, what's up, buddy? You're on with the Junks.
Happy morning, everybody. So I'm definitely, thank God us fans are not making the moves, right? Because I respect the other calls, but I disagree completely. I would 100% keep Chase. I was saying all of it during training camp that it was a huge mistake not signing him to that franchise option, because the downside is, okay, if he doesn't play good, now you just added him for a second year. But that would have been less of a problem to have than if he plays well, how are you going to afford him? Another thing I was thinking about is this. If we got Sam on a rookie contract, right, we're not paying any offensive linemen that much. We're not paying any tight ends that much. There's so many positions that we're not spending a lot of money. There should be plenty of money, in my opinion, with the higher salary cap to sign both Sweat and Chase and even Cam Curl. I also agree with, I think it was EB said that at the end of the year, we got to get rid of Jack Del Rio. I think with another defensive coordinator, these guys will do even better. Part of the reason for Del Rio not really thriving as much is, he's a linebacker-centric defensive coordinator. The linebacker position, you got one or two linebackers now. So if we bring in another defensive coordinator, bring in somebody who is a really skilled defensive back coach, kind of like Cliff Harris that we all. But Chase Young, and one more thing, besides all these pressures, he's amazing against the run, which for some reason, almost none of the fans ever mentioned that. He's incredible. We got to sign him. If he goes somewhere else, we're gonna regret it for 12 years.
12 years. Yeah, Trav, he's amazing against the run. Don't you have those stats? I don't have them. I'm just gonna parrot the listener.
I have him with a few
I
tackles.
don't know how great he is
A
against
few
the run.
tackles per game.
All right, let's go to Dennis in Reston. Hey, Dennis, what would you do?
I agree with the last caller. There's absolutely no way I'm getting rid of Chase Young, Montez Sweat, or anybody on that line. What are they going to do? Get rid of them, let them go somewhere else, and be stupid and bring some other people in they don't have a clue about? That sounds like something stupid we would do. What we need to do is get rid of Del Rio's goat-smelling ass. That's what we need to do, okay? And Rivera. I'm tired of this crap. I'm tired of this team looking like crap, and that's what we need to do. Do you guys agree with me or not?
I don't think there's anybody who's a Ron Rivera apologist at this point.
Yeah, or
And
a
we
Jack
spent
Del Rio apologist.
all of last week really talking about it after, the Thursday night debacle.
I just think getting rid of Chase Young is a wrong thing to do, and we should go the other way. Everything we talked about last week. Okay?
Now you could argue
go.
that you should be getting rid of some of the pieces on a defense that's allowing 32 points per game.
Why
That would
don't
be
we-
the opposing
look,
viewpoint.
If we lose to Atlanta this week, and I'm gonna blind Homer, I'm just gonna pick us.
Okay.
Okay. No reason.
They're the Falcons.
They're the Falcons. It's the only reason why I'm
that
picking
bit.
us. Yeah. Falcons could easily win. Probably should win. They're favored. I'll pick us. But if they beat us, and they beat us, handily, and then who do we have after that? We have Philly.
No, there's another at the Giants, I believe.
All right,
and then
the Giants
Philly.
we should win. But God forbid, let's just say, God forbid, we lose the next two. I'm telling you, they have to fire Ron. They have to fire Jack. And then the great part about that is you can experiment with other packages and other game plans so you can see Bieniemy unleashed, hopefully, right? And then a D coordinator.
Unleashed. What's he going to do? Pass more?
I don't know. And then
I
you can
hope
have
so.
you have a D coordinator, a different guy, a different look for the defense, and still utilize Chase and see if you want to keep Chase.
I kind of agree with you, but if Josh Harris didn't axe Ron and Jack after the bloodbath on Monday Night Football, what else is it going to take? There's nothing more embarrassing than losing to the Bears on national TV.
Just gotta do it a
Well,
couple
just
more times.
if it's cumulative. If it's
Just gotta do
cumulative,
it
it's
a
getting
couple more
worse. So
times.
if it's another bloodbath and they lose to the Falcons, which would be 4 losses in a row, maybe you make the move. You lose to the Giants, it's 5 losses in a row, and you just say, hey, we got to pull the plug.